at one point he was like giving me notes and I was like trying to get there. And at one point he stopped me and he goes, "You're not the actor I thought you were." And it crushed me. Like, I don't think I'd ever felt heartbreak before until that moment.
Hi babes, welcome back to Josh Smith's Great Chat Show, and today we are out the studio in a hotel meeting the new Elle Woods herself, Lexi Minetree. Now, if you haven't watched Elle on Prime Video yet, babes, what are you doing? It's a prequel series to Legally Blonde. It's a chef's kiss, and we get into all the behind-the-scenes stories from filming it today. We also talk about the voice notes that Reese Witherspoon has been leaving her. You're going to want to hear about that. We also talk about the meaningful chat she had with James Van Der Beek, who starred in Elle in his last ever on-screen role. And you got to stick around for the group chat as we ask Lexi your questions too. So right then, fancy a great chat? I love how you're rubbing your hands with glee. We're like, the great chat is coming, babes.
When I said the great chat, I had to say it in a British accent. I was like, the great chat. Like, I feel like you have to say it like that. You can't say it in an American accent.
It doesn't really work in an American accent, does it?
I don't even want to say it in American.
Why would you want to?
No.
Babe.
Just not right.
With the depth of your talent, just use the British accent.
Thank you.
Do you know what I mean? I mean, babes, we always kick things off on Josh Smith's Great Chat Show with one key question, and that is, what is your great chat starter? What's the topic you want to talk about?
Well, I was just talking everyone's heads off about memory.
Memory?
Yes.
As in, like, your personal memory?
Yes. Well, I've just been, like, diving into the idea of memory, of, like, I find it so fascinating because I've always had a bad memory.
Yeah.
And I've been trying to work on it. And, like, there's things you can do to fix your memory, which is crazy.
What are you doing to try and fix your memory?
Well, there's this thing called tagging. You can tag conversations. It's actually insane, but it works. So, like, after you have a discussion, you basically say who it was with and what it was about.
Yeah.
So it can be like the great chat with Josh.
Yeah.
And I'll tag it. Tagged. And then, like,
in your head?
In your head. And, like, helps you sort your memory. And at the end of the day, you, like, go through your day. You're like, what are my tags?
Oh my God, I'm obsessed with that. And also that kind of works in a great kind of gratitude way, doesn't it? Because then you're thinking about the meaningful connections you made for the day.
Yes. Well, that's why I wanted to work on it, because I care so much about the people in my life, but I feel like my actions weren't reflecting it in terms of, I couldn't remember, like, details about their lives. And I was like, but I'm listening, and I feel like it's not coming across that way. And I was like, well, what can I do about that?
Yeah.
Because I'm tired of making excuses. So here I am.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm going to start doing that because I've got to the point when I'm trying to describe objects that are very basic objects. I'm like, what is the word for? And I'm like, what is it? It's always like that.
I know. Well, I just think also there's so many distractions nowadays that I don't reflect on things nearly as much as I should.
Well, it's impossible because if someone asks you to do a task or someone messages you, you're halfway through replying to it.
Yeah.
And then you'll get a notification about something else. And you'll go on to the next thing.
Oh my God, yes.
Halfway through.
Exactly. Like, and if in the details go out the window, you could like be like, gun to my head, give you five. Tell me what happened in that conversation. I'd be like, I couldn't tell you. I'm sorry, I have to go.
I love that. Well, babe, one thing that I think a lot of people are going to be talking about very soon is Elle. Babe, you are chef's kiss phenomenal.
Thanks.
She's the hero we need right now. And this all started for you with, let's just say it, the greatest self-tape of all time.
Wow, honored.
Can you walk me through how you came up with the concept, how you filmed it?
Sure. I applied to the open call, just like everyone and their mother did. And I remember when I saw, the requirements, they had self-tapes, of course, and then a slate, which is like your name, your height, where you're based, and 30 seconds why you'd be a good Elle Woods. And I was like, what do I do for this? Because I know everyone's going to be like, I have blonde hair, I have a dog. Like, I was like, what? This doesn't feel right. And I was like, it kind of just hit me. I was like, I have to recreate her Harvard admissions video. Because what's more Elle Woods than that?
Nothing
and they're
more
looking for Elle Woods. They're looking for someone to say, here I am. I'm the character. And so I wrote the script. I had my mom help me film it. I like bought the sparkly pink bikini and I edited it. And then I spent hours on it. I was like, who knows if anyone will watch this, but if they do, maybe they'll like it.
And someone did watch it.
I think they did.
Reese Witherspoon handpicked you out of 3,000 audition tapes. Now, that is a lot of Elle Woods to get through.
It's a lot of Elle.
And what an amazing person to come into your life.
I know.
What was a really amazing chat you had with her on this process that was really formative for you?
You know, recently we were texting and she sent me all these different voice memos. I love a voice memo too.
Big
They're
fan.
the best. Big fan. And she just has been so supportive through this entire time. And like, I think I was having a moment of perhaps doubt or just being like, oh, like it's coming out soon. And, you know, we've had this project now for 2 years now. We just filmed season 2. And you put so much time into something and you hope people connect with it and love it. But, you know, you're also a human being and you start to overthink and you're like, I know she matters to so many people and I want that to mean something. And she just was like, you got this. Like, I chose you for a reason. It was divine. And sometimes you just have to hear that from someone who you admire to, like, have that little extra push of, like, you're right. I got it. And also, like, stand by your work. And I literally did the best that I could. I put my whole heart and soul into this character. And I also had so much fun doing it. And so I'm really, really proud of the work I put out. And I hope she resonates with everyone.
I think she's going to resonate with so many people. And I think getting to work with Reese Witherspoon behind the scenes and having her as your cheerleader must be such an incredible gift. And she's really created a new industry for women in a way, hasn't she, with what she's done? She's been able to create female-led stories, female-centric narratives in a world that didn't always welcome female-centric stories.
Yes.
How do you think you're benefiting from the work that she's done?
I mean, she is a powerhouse. Like, talk about, like, seeing a problem, seeing a void, and, like, fixing it.
Yeah.
Because she was like, I don't see enough women in this industry. I don't see enough women-led stories, or at least stories that are, like, about real women. They're not a stereotype or, like, aiding a man. And she just, like, came in and I mean, Hello Sunshine changed the name of the game, and her book club and everything. It's genius. I will say, specifically in terms of like how it's affected me, what's so cool about this show is that it's probably one of the few shows that I could go back to the village where we have all the producers, and it's all women. It's all women. Like, sometimes I'll see a guy in there, it's like a jump scare. I'm like, what are you doing here?
Why are you here, babe?
Why are you here? I mean, especially with this show. I mean, it's Elle Woods, you know? You want that to be led by women, and to go back and, like, everyone's so close, and we're all, like, you know, as the Brits say, we're all cheeky with each other. I'm learning.
Really get the lingo, babe.
Yeah, I'm learning.
She's been here 5 minutes.
I know.
And she's already basically British.
I know, exactly. It was, like, amazing to be able to do that, and also just to have those kind of conversations with them about the story. Like, they just really understood. Because the show is a lot about not only Elle, but also her mom and, like, her relationship with her mom. And so it's just a really special thing. And I think Reese is a large part of the reason that that's even possible.
And I think everyone loves Elle Woods because I think we can all relate to, at some point in our lives, someone putting us down because of how we look, how we present, how we speak. When have you felt really underestimated and you proved someone wrong?
I remember I actually studied abroad here at Bada, and I had this one acting teacher who I, like, worshipped. I just thought he hung the moon. I was so impressed by him and so inspired by him. And I also feel like British actors take their craft so seriously, and, like, that's how I felt, you know? And I hung on to every word that he said. And I remember he, like, assigned me this one Shakespeare scene. And it was from Macbeth, and I just, like, was working on it. I would spend hours after, like, trying to get it right. And, like, I just felt like I wasn't getting to where he wanted me to. And I was so frustrated. And I remember, like, we had a one-on-one session because that's, like, how the classes worked. You do one-on-ones too. And I remember at one point he was, like, giving me notes, and I was, like, trying to get there. And at one point he stopped me and he goes, "You're not the actor I thought you were." And
Whoa.
it crushed me. Like, I don't think I'd ever felt heartbreak before until that moment, because I respected him so much and his opinion, maybe even over my own. And I was like, and you know, we always have those doubts. And then to hear someone who you respect say those things that you're scared of, it like crushed me. And for a long time, I kind of had to wonder, like, maybe I'm not good enough. And one thing I am proud of is, even though I'm an emotional girl, I always, just like Elle, pick myself back up and keep going. Even when I'm like, I can't do it. I'm like, I'm gonna keep going, but I don't think I can do it. I mean, I'm glad to say that I'm still here. That was something that really stuck with me. And I feel like probably could have been a turning point in my life where I was just like, well, he's right. This isn't for me.
Well, he needs to get on Prime Video, babe, and watch his performance because it's phenomenal. Like,
Thank you.
One of the crazy things about watching you do this is you are literally like, you are Elle, and you've inhabited so much of what Reese brought to the character, so many of the mannerisms, but you've also been able to put your own stamp on it too. How did you go about really nailing Elle Woods, but also bringing your own stamp to it as well?
Well, I watched the movie so many times.
Like 150 times, I read.
Something like that.
So,
maybe 151 now.
So you're probably the only person I've ever met who's watched it more than me.
I'm gonna give you a run for your money.
Because I feel like I could do a one-man show of it.
I always say I can do a one-woman show.
So maybe we just tag team.
Let's tag team it.
We do act 1, act 2.
I love it. No, let's do it. I'm down. I keep having to do my Jennifer Coolidge impression. I'm like becoming known for it or something.
Oh, well, you can do Jennifer Coolidge and then RBL.
Okay,
we'll
perfect.
Mix it up.
Yes.
Stunning.
We gotta keep people on their toes. We can't give them what they expect.
We gotta keep the audience on their toes.
Exactly. Yeah, I watched the movie a lot, and I took a voiceover class in college, and I absolutely loved it. It was all my favorite parts of acting. I'm like, wait, I don't have to memorize, and I can look like shit? Let's go! I also just love you can, as long as your voice could do it, you could be that character.
Yeah.
And I had so much fun with it, and honestly, I think it really helped me with Elle because, you know, she has a very specific cadence and a very specific rhythm that I had fun kind of finding in my own voice, because obviously we have similarities, but we don't talk entirely the same. And also her movement and everything was so interesting to me. My roommates probably thought I was insane because I was just like walking around our little apartment all the time. But I just wanted it so ingrained in my body that when I got to set, I could just be in the moment. Because the last thing I wanted to be thinking of was like the technical parts. Yeah, I wanted to be listening to the other actors. And then also just to trust myself. Like, there's something in me that Reese saw that she saw in Elle too, or like I brought forward in Elle. And I didn't want to like squash that by trying to recreate things that she did. Because what she did was absolutely brilliant. And I could never do that, just as I don't know she could do my version of Elle because we're different people. We have different experiences. So yeah, I just tried to like play it truthfully, I guess.
Oh my God, you guys, to quote Elle Woods herself, we're just pausing this chat with Lexi right here to remind you to subscribe or follow wherever you're watching or listening to Josh Smith's Great Chat Show right now, because you're not going to want to miss the great chats we got coming your way. Now back to Lexi. What's your favourite line from the original movie?
I really like the line where she walks in after Vivian's tricked her into wearing the bunny outfit, and she goes, "Aw, thanks. I like your outfit too, Vivian. Except normally when I dress up like a frigid bitch, I try to look so constipated."
It's one of the best lines of all time.
It's amazing.
It's an amazing line.
And when people say, there's sometimes people are like, "Oh my God, Elle wouldn't say that. She's too nice." Like, she's got a feisty side.
She's sassy.
She is.
She's got a little bit of sass on that toast.
Is that a British thing?
No, I just made it up.
I love it.
But we can use that.
Let's make it a thing.
We'll make it a thing. My one is always, because I'm a Gemini, so when anyone in a group situation is like, tell a bit about yourself, I always go, "I'm Josh, and I'm a Gemini vegetarian."
And I bet people eat that shit
But then sometimes I don't get the reference. I'm like, hello? Like, do you not see what I'm doing here?
No, but to me, they're doing you a favor because you know who to avoid.
Yeah, because I'm like, if you're not coded in Legally Blonde, we can't be friends.
Exactly. Like, I have that same thing. I have a pair of Shrocs. They're like Shrek Crocs. And I love them because they attract the right kind of people and they keep away the people. I'm like, don't be near me if you don't like these trucks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do know what you mean. It's because then people are like, are you a vegetarian? I'm like, no, I just love chicken nuggets too much.
I know,
like,
exactly.
So it's literally like, it doesn't really work for me, but I'm like, it's a lie,
So
babe.
it's a
just
lie.
Go with it.
Yeah, just go with it.
And I think what people are going to love about Elle so much is there's so many moments where you think back to that high school period in your life. And especially for me, I was like, first kisses. I was like, wow, I haven't thought about that for a while.
Yeah, mine was not nearly that good.
What was yours?
It's like traumatizing, honestly. I don't know. I feel like first kisses are always so like awkward. It was like with another theater kid guy. And like, in theater, there's like 3 straight men in your department and like every girl wants to be with them. There's the slim pickings.
It's so true because I was like friends with a bunch of girls. And I remember one time they were going on this like caravan holiday and they were literally like, right, we need to practice kissing with you.
Oh my
this is
God.
before I was out. So they were like, we're going to practice kissing on you so we know how to kiss when we actually get with the actual boys. And I basically got passed around this group of like 5 girls. And that was my first like kissing experience. No wonder why I ended up being gay. It was traumatizing.
Oh my God.
I know.
It just passed you around.
Just passed me around. I was like, girls, like a piece of me. Jesus.
Wow. Are you
intense.
okay?
Yeah, I feel like this is becoming a therapy session.
I know, seriously. Like let's unpack our trauma together.
Unpack our traumas, which is the first kisses. But I also was like, I haven't thought about that in years until I watched this.
Wow.
I was like,
So our show will bring up past trauma kisses.
Yeah.
Great. Good to know.
It's gonna put people in therapy. I'm joking.
Oh, God.
Absolutely not. And the cast
Our intention
is phenomenal. And the depth of the cast is so great. And you actually got to work with James Van Der Beek in his final ever on-screen role.
Yeah.
Was there a conversation you had with him that's really stuck with you from the experience of working with him?
I remember when I first met him, we were in the hair and makeup trailer, and I remember he just walked in, and he has this, like, natural charisma about him. It almost felt like Matthew McConaughey was walking in. Like, he just has such a charm and a kindness to him, and especially, like, what he had gone through. Like, he, of all people, had the right to, like, not have energy and introduce himself, and yet, like, he went up to every person in that room and was like, hi, I'm James. And just like seeing him work, he's incredible. And he also works with June, who's also hilarious. And I think their charisma in the show is absolutely wonderful. He brought his daughters to set too. I'm really proud to have gotten to work with him. And it broke my heart to hear about what had happened. But like, I hope when people watch it, they just see what a talent he was. And I think people are gonna see the charm that just like rolls off of him.
Yeah.
He was wonderful.
And he means so much to so many people, I think, especially if you grew up with Dawson's Creek. And that nostalgia is very special to a lot of people. And the show really taps into so much nostalgia. Like when you're watching it, I was like, wow, dial-up internet.
Yes.
You never had to deal with that,
No.
babe.
I had to learn so many things.
What was the thing when you were like, I can't get my head around the fact that people actually used to do this?
Wow, there was like a payphone in the school. I was like, come on, surely this wasn't a thing. I didn't know how many quarters to put. At one point, I put like 25 quarters. They're like, you can chill. So I'm like, okay, well, I don't know.
So you never used a payphone before?
No.
Like never ever?
No. Why would I have used, I don't know. I've never used it.
I feel like that was like such a moment because I grew up in a tiny village and we had a payphone. We used to like put the like 10p's into it to use it.
What's a P?
Like...
Is that your currency? The name of it?
I'm dead. So I've just realized like how weird it is to say like 20p because it sounds like you're talking about P.
What is going on here in
You're
England?
like, what are you going on? So like there's like so it's like another word for pence. So it's like one, what would it be, like a cent?
Oh, okay. Like a penny.
So it's like a penny.
Rip the penny. You know they got rid of them. They don't make them anymore.
What do you mean?
They're gone.
Well, they've got...
It costs like 5 pennies to make a penny or something like that, so they stopped making them. So we better start collecting because they're probably gonna become a relic.
Every day is a school day.
I know.
I would literally love it if you started becoming like a penny collector. I'd be like, that is such a niche job.
I actually used to like collect quarters.
Did you?
I did. Like from each state. Like on the back they had like each state. Like Nevada had one. And so my grandpa, he got me this like collecting thing, and I would collect quarters. I actually should find it. I don't know where it went.
Were you a bit of a geek growing up, babe?
No, women gave that away. Yeah, that's why I was like, me playing Elle Woods seemed crazy, because I was a geek. I was reading the Warriors series, which is like about cats roaming around, fighting each other. I was playing my DS. I was a total nerd. But I love stories. That's like what I always was drawn to.
Because you are a big manifester though, aren't you? I feel like you have drawn this role into your life, haven't you?
I am a bit woo-woo. The older I get, the more woo-woo I get.
How woo-woo are you?
Like on a scale? Like a sliding scale?
Give me a woo-woo scale.
Like, what's the scale?
Like 0 to 10.
And 10's like really
10's
woo-woo?
being like woo-woo.
Woo-woo! I guess I'm probably like a 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what does that look like? What are we doing that's woo-woo,
What rituals do I do?
Yeah.
Well, I journal every day, or most days. When I'm on set, sometimes I'm like, I'm tired. I'm getting this out. But like, I do believe that words have power. And whether you believe in like universe stuff or not, like there's science to back it up, that like the way that you think about things will shift your perception of your life. And I do believe like if you don't think it, you can't be it. You know, if you don't think you can do something, you've already decided it.
And that must have really helped with your confidence going into this, because before this you had one small role, and then this is like one humongous role. So having that relationship with your inner self and your inner monologue must have helped you so much.
It did. And, you know, I actually had a lot of little wins that really helped me along, because I do think you need little wins to, like, encourage you, you know? I started acting professionally while I was in college, like junior year, because I was like, I just need to get my footing, because, you know, you are a baby deer walking along and you're shaky at first. But, like, I felt very lucky because I did a lot of, like, Lifetime movies before, which are kind of like silly thrillers, and I'm so grateful to have gotten them, because it was my grad school. It taught me how to be on set. It let me get the kinks out and how to, like, be an actor on camera, because it's a lot. I think the difference between a good actor and a great actor is nerves. A lot of times.
Interesting. Why do you think that?
Because I think that when you're nervous or you're thinking about what people are going to perceive you as, you stifle your instincts. The people who are like some of the most interesting actors to watch, that's why people who aren't trained are sometimes the most interesting to watch, because they're just trusting themselves. And I think when you get in your head about things, that's when you're like taking the safe choice, you know?
How do you calm your nerves or rationalize them?
Oh, God. I don't know if I do. Sheer, I guess, exposure therapy. You know what it is? I think that if you start harder, everything else gets easier. So I try to do things that really scare me. Sometimes something will make me nervous. I'm like, oh, damn it. That means I have to do it. I took a stand-up class in college.
Oh my God. I bet you were great at that.
No.
Was that fail?
I'm glad you think that.
Did that not work out well, babe? Tell me how that went.
Well, I'm not doing stand-up now, I'll tell you that much. But I did learn a lot from it. It was very hard. I didn't want to do it. But I was like, I have to. I have to do it because I have to prove to myself I can do it. And, you know, actually, I wasn't too shabby. I was probably lean too dad joke for my stand-up career to ever actually take off. But because of that, I think it, like, allowed me to take more risks after, because I was like, well, that was the worst thing I could ever do. So everything else is smooth
Everything else
sailing.
is going to be great.
Exactly.
And we do need to talk about the fact you have already mentioned Jennifer Coolidge, but you actually got to meet her IRL, right?
Well, kind of. We were so close, and like I missed my window. I'm so upset.
What?
I didn't get to say hi.
Oh, babe, we need to make that happen.
I know.
Because you need to do the impression with her. We need to get this on socials. We need to get this viral. Come on.
I know. Well, she actually said at Elle World that she doesn't, the most quoted line to her is like, I want a hot dog real bad.
Yeah.
And she doesn't like it because she's a vegan.
So it's a very triggering
she's like,
line
I
for
don't
her.
like it. I'm a vegan. I'm like, so no one say that line to her anymore. She's spoken her truth.
You're like, I'm not going to re-trigger Jennifer Coolidge.
No, I'm not going to be that
up.
person. No.
Well, babe, it's come to the time in the show where we open up the group chat and we add you to our group chat. You're already in phenomenal company in this group chat. We got Theo James in the group chat. We got hunks, we got honeys, And now you're in it, babe. Are you a group chat person? Do you like them?
I like group chat, so sometimes I gotta mute them. I'm like, chill.
Oh, what makes you mute a group chat?
The spamming of it. When I'm busy, and then like you just hear ding 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 ding. You're like, oh my god, I know I'm popular, but chill.
Just chill. Give me a break. This girl's on set. She's being Elle Woods, and I'm in character quite a lot.
Yeah.
Well, this is when we also get our stunning listeners at home to sending their questions for you. We've had quite a few, babe.
Oh,
because people are pumped for Elle. Now, this is from Shelley in Leeds.
Okay.
We love Leeds. How long did it take you to get ready for Elle each day?
Ooh, so it took me like 2 hours, maybe 2.5. I was always like 10 minutes late. That's it. I told them, I warned them though. I was like, look, I'm going to be the best number one ever. I'm going to show up with kindness. I'm going to be prepared. I'm going to be 10 minutes late. Do with that info what you will.
I feel like 10 minutes late is on time in my book.
I agree. Especially if I tell them.
It's also, if someone's actually like on time, I'm like, this is early.
No, I know. I'm like, chill, you're being extra. But yeah, so I did a warm up as well. So I would do hair and makeup with my girls, Flo and Jen. They're the best.
What would you do for a warm up?
I did a extensive vocal warm up. I love strophination. Have you heard of that?
What's strophination?
So I know it's a fun name to say.
I'm like obsessed.
All you have to do is you like get a cup and you fill it with water and a straw and you blow into it. Like, your vocal cords will be changed.
Yeah.
And you do like scales with it. So because a lot of times I sound horrible. Like I sound like I smoke a pack a day or something. And I'm like, this needs to be fixed for Elle. And then I'd like stretch and stuff like that. So my body would be.
So a little bend and snap to get you into the day, babe.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Oh my God, well, I think that's iconic because every day's a school day with you, babe. Clearly, I've just learned a very big word to take with me into the rest of my life.
Yes.
And this is also where we do some quick fire questions about conversation. Ooh. Are you ready, babe?
Sure.
To hit it. Okay, how many times do you say goodbye before actually hanging up?
3.
3?
Yeah.
Is it like goodbye, goodbye, goodbye?
No, like I say goodbye and then they keep talking and then I'm like, okay, goodbye. Like I'm trying to get away. I love my friends and family though.
Yeah, we love them, but we're trying to get them off the phone. Girl's busy. What's your most dreaded small talk topic? Is
it bad to say kind of the show right now? Just because like it's so much of my life and I'm like, I love you and thank you so much for your support. Can we talk about something else? With my friends and family. I'm like, tell me about your life. Actually, that's what I want to hear about.
I love that. Honesty is the best policy, babe.
I have to be honest. I can't lie to you.
You can't lie. You can't lie. Do you pick up the phone or let it go to voicemail? Always.
I pick it up.
You pick it up?
I pick it up. I prefer a phone call over text.
Oh.
Maybe that's a hot take.
I think that's good. We want more connection.
Yeah.
We want more great chats, babe.
Yeah.
What's your go-to greeting?
Sup?
What's up? That was not what I was expecting.
What'd you think it was going to be?
Like, hi, babe. Oh, I mean, that's just not me. I think it'd be quite weird if you said, hi, babe.
Love it.
And what is your conversation red flag?
Ooh, conversation red flag. I don't know. You give me one first.
I feel like it's when people don't listen. I hate that.
Yeah.
Or if they just monologue about their lives.
Yes. Yeah. Like, I was going to say people who interrupt people, but I do that. So maybe that I should do some self-reflecting there.
I think sometimes I interrupt because I'm so excited.
Me too.
And I'm like, oh my God, babe, yes!
There's nothing better than meeting someone who, like, you guys interrupt at the exact same amount. Because, like, I have friends who we have a million unfinished conversations. And those are my favorite people, you know?
I feel like I never get through an agenda.
No, nothing is ever finished.
Done. Yeah. But you always want to leave people wanting more.
Yeah.
Exactly. And, babe, it has been the best chatting to you today. Thank you so much for joining
me.
It was so great.
Wow, it's my first podcast.
What?
Yeah.
Are you joking?
No.
Oh my God, babe. I'm so glad I got to pop your cherry.
Oh.
Look at us go, babes.
No one else. The girls popped your kiss cherry. And you popped my podcast cherry. Full circle.
Full circle, babes.
We'll all need therapy
I hope you enjoyed
this.
it. Would you recommend a podcast?
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah. Well, you're going to have to subscribe to this one now, babe.
I want to be added to that group chat with you, James.
Who doesn't? So as you now know, babes, I'm Josh. I'm a Gemini, vegetarian, who got passed around a whole group of girls for his first kiss. That's a little bit of therapy there with Lexi Minetree, the new Elle Woods herself. I loved her so much, and it's making me want to run home right now to go watch the rest of Elle. Let me know what you think about that show. Hunt us down across socials at Josh Smith's Great Chat Show to let me know what you think. And also find us on Instagram where you can be added to our close friends group so you can ask our upcoming guests your hard-hitting, burning questions. And I will see you next time for another episode of Josh Smith's Great Chat Show.